entitled Client Cheats Insurance for Years, gets exposed and loses everything. Now she's begging for help while I move on to a better life. Hi, Reddit. My name is Sarah, and I used to work as a direct support professional for disabled clients. My job was to help them with daily tasks like cooking, cleaning, taking them to appointments, and grocery shopping. The goal was to assist them in doing these tasks themselves, not to do it for them. The number of hours I could spend helping each client per week depended on what their insurance was willing to pay for, and I had to be actively helping the client at all times. This meant I couldn't just run errands for them without their participation. One of my clients, let's call her Linda, was always trying to push the boundaries of what I could do for her. She would frequently ask me to do things that were outside the scope of my job. For example, she once asked me to babysit her nephew. I had to explain to her, yet again, that my duties were attached to her and not to anyone else. She would get huffy but usually drop it after a bit of grumbling. Every week we had to log my hours, and both of us had to sign the form before submitting it to the company. I usually left the form on her kitchen table when I left her house, and she was the one who would send it in. This system worked fine for the most part, but little did I know, Linda had been manipulating it to her advantage. One Friday, Linda asked me to watch her nephew again, and I gave her my well-rehearsed spiel about my job duties. She wasn't happy but accepted it as usual. She had plans that day, and left the house before I did, so I was responsible for locking up. As I was about to sign the form, I noticed that she had filled out my hours incorrectly. She had put the end of my shift as an hour earlier than it actually was. I figured it was an honest mistake and corrected it before signing. A few hours later, my phone exploded with angry texts from Linda. She was furious that I had changed the hours. She informed me that since I didn't obey her request to watch her nephew, I wasn't getting paid for that hour. Through her angry messages, I learned that this had been going on for a while. Anytime I didn't do her extra demands, she would alter the log to reflect fewer hours. I had never noticed because it only ever amounted to about an hour or so per week, and I didn't see that she altered the log after I left. She basically confessed to everything in her texts. I called my company to ask how to proceed. My supervisor took this very seriously. She explained that the company was legally obligated to pay me for the hours I worked, as per the labor board. They would also be contacting the insurance company to explain the discrepancy. Apparently, Linda had been saying she was getting fewer hours to get a little extra free help, while my company was billing her insurance for more hours to pay me. This was a big no-no. I laughed it off, saying it was only an hour and I didn't want to make waves over $12, but my supervisor insisted that this was a serious issue. The insurance company didn't appreciate being cheated, and my company didn't want to be involved in any fraudulent activities. They decided to drop Linda as a client and reimburse me for the hour. The fallout from this incident was far more dramatic than I could have ever anticipated. The insurance company launched a full-scale investigation into Linda's activities. They discovered that she had been manipulating her hours for months, possibly even years. This wasn't just about the hour she tried to cheat me out of. It was about a pattern of fraudulent behavior that had cost the insurance company thousands of dollars. Linda was summoned to a hearing with the insurance company. I was asked to provide a statement, and I did so willingly. I detailed all the times she had tried to get me to do things outside of my job description and how she had altered my hours without my knowledge. The insurance company took my statement very seriously. During the hearing, it came to light that Linda had been using the extra hours she claimed to get free help for her personal errands. She had other direct support professionals before me, and she had pulled the same tricks with them. Some of them came forward to testify, and their stories matched mine. It was a pattern of deceit that Linda couldn't deny. The insurance company decided to take legal action against Linda. They sued her for the fraudulent claims and demanded repayment of the money she had essentially stolen. Linda was also reported to the state authorities for insurance fraud, which is a serious crime. She faced hefty fines and the possibility of jail time. Linda's life began to unravel. She lost her home because she couldn't afford the legal fees and the repayments demanded by the insurance company. Her reputation in the community was destroyed. People who once considered her a friend turned their backs on her. She became a pariah, shunned by those who knew her story. But the fallout didn't stop there. Linda's family was also affected. Her nephew, the one she had tried to get me to babysit, was taken away by Child Protective Services. They deemed her an unfit guardian due to her fraudulent activities and the unstable environment she had created. Her family blamed her for the mess, and she became estranged from them. Linda's health also took a turn for the worse. The stress of the legal battles and the social ostracism took a toll on her mental and physical well-being. She was diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression, and she struggled to find the support she needed. The very system she had tried to cheat now turned its back on her. As for me, I received a lot of support from my company and my colleagues. They were proud of me for standing up against the fraud and for doing the right thing. I was given a commendation for my honesty and integrity. The company also implemented stricter policies to prevent such incidents from happening again. I also received a heartfelt letter from one of Linda's former direct support professionals. She thanked me for exposing Linda's deceit and shared her own experiences of being manipulated and underpaid. It was a reminder that standing up for what's right can have a ripple effect, helping others who might be suffering in silence. Update 1, 6 months later. Hey everyone, it's been 6 months since I posted my story, and I wanted to give you all an update. First of all, thank you for all the comments and support. It was overwhelming to see how many people had my back and understood where I was coming from. After everything went down, I decided to take a break from direct support work. I needed some time to process what had happened and to figure out my next steps. I took a part-time job at a local bookstore, which was a nice change of pace. It gave me the time and space I needed to think about my future. As for Linda, I haven't heard from her since that day. A mutual acquaintance told me that she had to move to a different state to find similar services. Apparently, she tried to pull the same tricks with another company, but they were onto her from the start. Karma, I guess. I've also started taking some online courses to further my education. I'm considering a career change, maybe something in social work or counseling. I still want to help people, but I want to do it in a way that feels right for me. Update 2, 1 year later. Hey Reddit, it's been a year since my original post, and I thought I'd give you all another update. First off, thank you again for all the support and kind words. It really helped me get through a tough time. I'm happy to report that life has been amazing. I completed my online courses and have started working towards a degree in social work. It's been challenging but incredibly rewarding. I feel like I'm finally on the right path. As for Linda, I heard through the grapevine that she's still struggling to find services. I don't wish her ill, but I also don't feel sorry for her. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. I've also reconnected with some of my old clients, and it's been wonderful to see them again. They were always the best part of my job, and I'm glad to have them back in my life in some capacity.